المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين.
Thank you so much for those wonderful prayers. I know the presence of God is among us. Next on the agenda is the introduction of the chairman, which will be done by myself. I don't think it is a very difficult task to introduce somebody you have worked with for so long and who has been your immediate boss or supervisor. I think I know a lot about him. Our chairman, our guest speaker, our chairman, is an excellent administrator. He was born in the Western area in the 80s. He schooled at the Albert Academy and later proceeded to the Fulbe College, where he obtained a Bachelor of Arts. Scholarship to train for a Master's of Public Sector Management at the Ghana Institute of Public Administration and Management, (GIMPA). On his return from study, he was appointed Special Assistant to the Registrar of the University, a position through which he was exposed to the wider and higher operations of the university, working closely with the administration of the 3 constituent colleges of the university. In July 2018, he was deployed to the College of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences to act as Deputy Registrar, where he established himself as an astute administrator, leaving his mark on the college. In January 2021, he was redeployed to the Institute of Public Administration, where he initially served as acting and subsequently appointed to serve as a substantive Deputy Registrar, addressing thorny administrative issues, and succeeded in leaving his imprint on the administrative structure of that college. Well, it soon became time for the mother of challenges. In November 2022, he was redeployed for the 3rd time, this time to the Fulbe College, having proven that he was the man for the big challenges. It is no surprise that, even at that very challenging FBC campus, his reputation for delivery is getting even more pronounced, facilitating progressive administrative. Our guest speaker is happily married with kids. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we give a round of applause for our guest speaker, who is no less a person but Deputy Registrar Mr. Brahma Ba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yade, for that wonderful introduction. First of all, I want to call on our distinguished members of the high table to join me up here at the hat. You know, come in. Okay, so I'll go straight to business. I'm here to chair this program. We have a number of speakers who will be making statements and others who will be making detailed presentations. It's going to be that. And one of the main thing that I will take from what has happened is the capacities that we have developed as a country. In terms of individuals, hundreds of Sierra Leoneans have been trained, some of them to the highest level, PhD level, and now some of them are working directly with supervising institutions as a start, the London School to be precise, and other very well established international partners. So these people started as local staff are now working at the highest level with these very, very senior partners. So that is something that we will always want to highlight as we reflect on the achievements that we've made during the implementation of these two projects. Also, what we would want to highlight is the fact that as a college, a university, as a country, we have been exposed to the highest standards possible in this field of medical research. So for you to be exposed to the standards of CDC, the INSA, that is the European Institute of Medical Research, then you are being taken to the highest possible level in this field. And I believe as a college, as a university, and as a country, we are now seen as very capable partners. Also, our partnerships, the partners are many and very, very big indeed. The London School, the INSA, Janssen Pharmaceutical Company, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, the University of Antwerp in Belgium, and a host of others, Innovation Medicines Initiative, FPA, and the European Union. So these are some of the things that we want to highlight, and I believe we are going to get a lot of details in terms of all the achievements, aside from the fact that in the end, the product which was being tried here was successfully done, and I believe licensed and quite ready for use. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go straight to the program and call on our very first speaker, who is known as a person, but we call him the patriarch of the College of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences, the person who has been leading the local side of all of this collaboration and partnership that we are talking about, for us to come up here and give us the welcome address. Professor Mohammed Salman.
Chairman, the Honorable Minister of Health, members of Parliament here present, colleagues from Gambia, deans of faculty, the Deputy Chief Medical Officer Clinical, the Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer, Deputy Vice Chancellor of the College, heads of departments, colleagues, students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me say good morning. So let me, on behalf of the consortium and the college, welcome you to this meeting, and let me particularly welcome our colleague from London School, who have traveled all the way from the UK to be part of this meeting. Dr. Choi. So let me also welcome our colleagues from Gambia. So colleagues from Gambia, led by Dr. Faba, can you please stand? I also want to particularly welcome the staff that actually work on all of these projects in Gambia, the local staff. I don't know, are they around? Yeah. The local staff. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are far behind schedule. We'll talk about the journey, how we started and where we are at the moment. And in a couple of minutes, the minister is pressed for time, so we want to move fast.
Good morning. So I'll be delivering a speech from Professor Debbie Wilson-Jones on my behalf. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Dear esteemed guest, representative from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, members of the Parliament, PBSL, SLAC and other sections, DMO, Paramount Chiefs, our COMAS and GO colleagues, and London School team members. Welcome to this meeting to disseminate the results of the EBOVAC 3 and PREVAC UP projects. First of all, Professor Brian Greenwood and I, Debbie Wilson-Jones, would like to apologize for not being here at this meeting in person. Unfortunately, we are both unable to travel by plane this the Merck VSV vaccine for children. Along the way, we have been able to strengthen our laboratory and data management sections. These are now being employed on the Solidarity trial of a COVID vaccine and a large EPI study to measure the burden of human papillomavirus, HPV, the most common sexually transmitted infection in the world, and the primary cause of cervical cancer in girls and women in Sierra Leone, where we currently have no data. We're very, very proud of the COMA staff who over time gained competitive scholarships that allowed them to attend master's courses in various parts of the world, as well as current and former members of the team who started or completed their PhD studies. And this includes an exciting new malaria study being done by Ms. Matu Kroma, the COMA's laboratory manager. So capacity strengthening is key to building sustainable research infrastructure in the country. And the Cambia Lab has recently been granted conditional GCLP accreditation by Quality. And the PREVAC UP team, based in Marlborough, has successfully passed a vigorous site inspection by the US FDA. That was a major reflection on the high quality of clinical research that is being done in country. So going forward, we hope to continue our work on the epidemiology and prevention of infectious diseases, including research on Lassa fever virus and Ebola vaccines. A new Ebola vaccine study is under discussion with funders, and a new malaria vaccine trial is also being reviewed by funders. And we continue to exchange ideas with colleagues around the world on new proposals for research studies into diseases of public health importance for Sierra Leone. When we also plan to install solar power for the Cambia Lab to make it more environmentally friendly. Finally, we would like to thank all the other people who helped us on these two projects, including the COMA's administrative and finance teams. Our colleagues at GO, who supported us with the complicated logistic needs for implementing these studies, as well as the London School scientific, project, management and finance team in Sierra Leone and in the UK. So on behalf of Brian and the London School, we wish you a very successful meeting. We hope that you will enjoy hearing about some of the achievements from these projects. I look forward to getting back to Sierra Leone in a few months. Debbie Wilson-Jones. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Choi, for excellently delivering the speech on behalf of the Professor Wilson-Jones. So we have had basically echoing some of the things I indicated in the opening. Quite a lot has been achieved, especially staff capacity. People that has PhD. She also talked about the strengthening of labs, data management system, and quite a lot. Our labs now being accredited by the highest bodies out there. So the promise is a very bright one for medical research in Sierra Leone, and having the confidence of partners like Professor is probably what any other institution of our time in the sub-region will definitely be dreaming of. So we are very happy, very thankful for those kind words, wonderful endorsements and appreciation for the efforts by our own local people who participated in the studies. Thank you very much. Now we move on to the journey since 2015. and Professor Mohammed Samai, as we all know. Like I said, he was basically the person who initiated all of this, has been providing the leadership, working with both local and international partners. He will now take us through the journey. Professor Mohammed Samai.
We are still waiting for the technicians. So maybe whilst we are waiting, I will just give you a recap of what happened yesterday. Yesterday we were here again. As part of the journey, just to ensure that our students were given the opportunity to also go through the typical clinical trial settings. We know we do deliver lectures on clinical trials, but then when it comes to implementation, it's far different from what is being taught in class. So we actually gave them the opportunity to be able to have a first-hand information on implementation of clinical trials. So let me just, no, this is not the right slide. This is the wrong slide. It's the wrong one. This is the wrong one. Thank you very much. So let me take this opportunity to just talk you through the journey as it all started somewhere in 2014. But the study actually started in 2015, or thereabout. Let me have the first slide, please. First slide, this is not the first slide. So we can do without the slides if there's a problem. So let me speak to the issues why they are still trying to fix the equipment. We had an epidemic of Ebola, particularly in the sub-region. So we suffered, as well as Liberia and Guinea, and there were also pockets of the infection, maybe in the US due to one or two cases that were imported there, and also some cases were also recorded maybe in Mali or thereabouts. But then we had the largest body of the disease, and it actually killed thousands of Sierra Leoneans, including doctors and nurses. We lost very senior doctors and junior colleagues, and we also lost very senior nurses in the process of really saving the life of others. So at that time, the available tools that were at our disposal for the management of Ebola virus disease was just infection prevention control measures, social distancing and things like that. There was no chemoprophylaxis like vaccine to protect against the virus. There was no definitive drug to actually manage the disease. So normally, if you want to prevent against a disease, apart from the non-drug approach, you can administer vaccines. So once you administer the vaccines can mount some response so that when you are exposed to the virus or whatever it is, that immune system will fight against whatever that has invaded the body. But those measures were not available. And also, if you came down with the disease at that time, all we had at our disposal was to give you maybe fluid therapy or some replacement therapy in terms of electrolyte and things like that. So we lost a lot of people. But then WHO came together and did a call for accelerated production of vaccines and therapeutics. And there were candidate vaccines that were available at that time. Three of them, three of the candidate vaccines. One was produced by Merck, the PSV vaccine, that was also investigated in country by Comas in collaboration with CDC. And then we have the is it on? Yes. So So as I said, we lost a lot of our colleagues. We recorded more than 28,000 cases and more than 11,000 deaths between Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. And in 2014, WHO had to declare it as an international public health emergency of international concern. Let me have the next slide. So as I said, at that time, all we had at our disposal was contact tracing, surveillance, and maybe IPC measures. So there was no vaccines or therapeutics available for management. So there was a call for accelerated production and evaluation of vaccines and therapeutics. So we had a number of candidate vaccines. The VSV by Merck, there was one by GSK, and then the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, they had 26 and MVA, and then there was another one at 5 produced by the Chinese. So this particular study, the Ibovac, Prevac, and Prevac-Up study, we actually looked into the AD26 and MVA vaccine. The VSV was another study conducted by Comas in collaboration with CDC. And that result, the data that we generated, also has led to the licensure of that vaccine, and is now available to be rolled out should there be another outbreak of Ebola. But what we did, we decided also to add value, because my professor will always say we do what we call drug smuggling. And normally when we do clinical trials, we tend to exclude children, and we tend to also exclude women, particularly pregnant women. But then the opportunity that Ibovac presented was also to explore the investigation of VSV in kids. So the VSV has also been licensed for use in children. So it's not just for adults, you can use it in children. So this particular study was not just limited to adults, it was also extended to include kids from 3 months to about 17 or 18 years of age. So this study was done really in Gambia. You know, when we started, it was a bit messy because the epidemic was high at the beginning, but then it was also very difficult to implement vaccine study during the peak of the epidemic. But then the other downside was that by the time we were ready to start, the epidemic was almost over. And then it became very difficult for you to evaluate the effectiveness of the vaccine in the absence of the epidemic. Because normally, these vaccines are protective, they are not therapeutic. In other words, there was a big challenge if we were going to work in Gambia. First of all, the infrastructure was not available. So we have to start by putting up all the deliver on the study. So, and then we also had an apartment somewhere in Lukupu, and then Mambulu, and then we had it was difficult really to set the lab, so we have to use the free fab container to set up the lab in Gambia. These were that were given to us by Public Health England. So these are some of the the structures that we had to put up in Gambia. You will assist us deliver on the study. Now once those infrastructural arrangements were done, and in fact alongside them, because we did not sequence the events, so we also had to do community engagement. We had to ensure that we recruit the research team, and then we had to seek for accreditation. We've gotten the accreditation now, and then we have to support the Gambia Government Hospital, and then we did some social science work, and then we did some local networking. So whilst the infrastructure was being developed, all of these activities were ongoing. So for community engagement, several meetings were held with local leaders, the chief, the MPs, etc. In fact, before we actually engage the Gambia community, we had to present the whole concept of this study to the Ministry of Health, and the ministry approved through the ethics committee, and then it has to be presented. It was presented again to cabinet for their endorsement, and then we did a presentation in parliament for approval. And it was after all of those approvals now that we went to Gambia and we started doing the community engagement. So we met with the leaders, and we also did a lot of radio engagement, and we did house-to-house visits just to be able to sensitize people about the importance of the study and why they should enroll in the study. Because at that time, there were a lot of rumors in terms of the genesis of the disease, and people believed at that time that if you enroll for the study, once they give you the vaccine, within a couple of days you are going to die. So we needed to diffuse all of those rumors. So we had to do a lot of community engagement. That community engagement continued. It was not an event. It's activities that continued up to the end of the study. And then we have now to recruit the research team. So I know from the onset of the study to now, we have provided employment for well over 500 or more Sierra Leoneans. And most of them are either doctors, nurses, pharmacists, lab technicians in the form of phlebotomists and vaccinators. And then we had a quick quality assurance team. So all of these were part of the team, and all of them were Sierra Leoneans. So the study created opportunity for job for more than 500 or 1,000 Sierra Leoneans. Not at a go, but at a point we will have about 200 or 300 people working in Gambia, and then depending on the study, we can bring in more. And then if your contract ends and that study is no longer on, then we can replace you with somebody else. So the other problem, yes, we are the human beings. So I always differentiate between human resource and human beings. So the human beings were available, but they did not have the capacity to be able to conduct the study, to work in a clinical trial. So a lot of trainings were done to be able to bring them up to speed so that they can be engaged in the study. So we did a lot of training in terms of the GCP and GCLP, and in terms of quality assurance and IPC. So we did close to 1,000 training sessions during this period. So you will see how the trainings have been broken down. So you have data management, safety, community engagement, clinical skills, others, and then the protocol-specific training, GCP, etc. So more than 1,000. I know in the university one of these days, I was requested to submit to a committee pile of trainings that we've done in our study. So if I was going to give you a record of training, we are looking at 1,000 or more training that we did. And if I want to give them those records, it's like a whole 5 or more cabinets of files. So we did more than 1,000 training from that period, so to ensure that we brought people up to speed. And then we had to also increase the capacity of the lab. The lab started very small, and then over time it expanded to be able to do most of the work. Because when we started, most of the samples were shipped out, but then eventually we had to increase the capacity of the lab to be able to conduct most of the studies in country. And then we also provided, as I said earlier, support to the hospital, because we needed to support the hospital so that if should there be an event, either an SAE or an SA, then it will be handled by the hospital. So we had to provide support for the hospital. We had to actually set up an emergency room with all the gadgets to be able to provide emergency care. And we also, because we are also dealing with pediatric cases, we also had to support the development of the pediatric ward. And we actually trained nurses to be able to handle pediatric cases. And from time to time, the study was bringing pediatricians from outside to provide support for the hospital at that level. So in terms of the hospital support, we had a number of achievements there. We ensured that we improved the clinical care provided for the kids, particularly in the hospital. And then before our involvement in the hospital, mortality rate among pediatric cases was about 40 or more %. In other words, if 100 kids were brought to the hospital, 40 of them will die. But then with our intervention, the mortality reduced from 40% to less than 8%. So during the time that we were in the hospital, if 100 kids were brought in, less than 8 of them will die. As compared to earlier when we had about 40 kids dying out of every 100 brought into the hospital. So these are all the improvements that we brought. These are all cases that we were looking at in the hospital. And then in terms of training, we also ensured that we trained the nurses in emergency management of kids and triage. So these are part of the, these were all part of the training sessions. And then for the social science research, we conducted qualitative research, and then we also are doing seeking feedback from participants and follow-up, just in case there are rumors. We went into the community and quickly diffused those rumors. So we had a lot of focus group discussions and a lot of engagements with community leaders. And then at the national level, we also provided support, particularly for the College of Medicine. So as I said, in terms of capacity, one can look at the capacity building at different levels. Institutional level, at Cambia Hospital, the capacity of the institution was built, and then at individual level, the nurses, the doctors were trained. Similarly, when it comes to commerce, at the institutional level, the capacity of the college was built to be able to manage research grants, and also we had to take action to train colleagues to be able to work in clinical trials. And we also had to train administrators and the finance people to be able to manage clinical trials. So there was a lot of capacity building. And we also provided support to the Ministry of Health through the Cambia Hospital. And we had to work closely with the pharmacy board and the ethics, because they will, these are the institutions that provided A, the clearance, and B, the regulatory monitoring. And then we work closely with the paramount chiefs in Cambia, Mambulo, and the members of parliament from that region. So in terms of the studies, we did a lot of studies. The IBOVAC 1, which was from 2015 to 2022. Most of those studies were concluded, have been completed and published. IBOVAC 3, that is what we are doing now. Most of the studies have been completed and also published. So this is, you see a cross-section of the lab staff interacting with the Minister of Health in one of his visits to Cambia. So these are the partners in the study. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, please. Thank you very much, Professor Samai, for taking us through the journey from 2015. Like we said, it's been quite a journey. A lot of capacity built, quite a lot. We are now ready as a nation, readier than we were in 2014. Clear. So without wasting time, we move on to the statements now. Like Professor said, the Deputy Minister has another engagement to attend. And now we'll call on the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Mustafa Kabal, to make a statement.
Morning, Mr. Chair, Honorable Minister, colleagues present, members of the research committee, IBOVAC, and vaccines that have been presented today. All the studies. To be here on behalf of the Ministry of Health to make a brief statement. We've all seen the tremendous work this research group has done, headed by the PVC of Commerce and its team, of course, also in close collaboration with Professor Laila. The Ministry of Health has been very pivotal in all of what has been going on. And we saw that through this research, through these studies, a lot of health system strengthening went into it. We saw the strengthening of the Cambia Government Hospital. We saw the support given to the Ministry of Health, capacity building, strengthening of the infrastructure we have to provide basic services. This is all what research is about, right? Bring in research to strengthen your system, build capacity, and have results that you can utilize moving forward in ensuring that you care for the health care of your people. So we are really pleased, we're happy, and I must congratulate all who participated, from the PI, the College of Medicine, the University, and all members of the Ministry of Health who participated in this very important study. I don't need to reiterate the importance of the vaccine that has been studied through this research. We know what Ebola did to us as a country. We know how devastating it was. We know how many healthcare workers we lost, the infrastructural degradement that took place, the destabilization of our health sector. We know. So bringing on such a vaccine that can help prevent such devastation in the health sector, healthcare system of our people is a novelty, and we really applaud this effort. Congratulate all those who are participating. We believe as a Ministry of Health, the first approach to all health concerns is to prevent them. Prevention is better than cure. So vaccines are key in ensuring that these devastating diseases are prevented. If we are not able to prevent them, we should have the capacity to treat. That's why capacitating our hospitals, improving on the human resources, making sure that they are well equipped is very key to have a holistic approach towards healthcare delivery in our countries. So vaccine research development in our country is something we definitely promote and we support with all our ability. We are not only looking at vaccines such as the Ebovac, like the colleague mentioned, the HPV vaccine, the human papilloma virus vaccine is already been rolled out in country. We have a very robust expanded immunization program, which looks at immunization for children, women, and we've included human papilloma virus as one of the routine vaccines for the children under 10 years of age. This is recommended, and we are doing it nationwide. We are introducing the malaria vaccine for the 2 years and below children. So bringing these vaccines helps us definitely to ensure that our population is healthy. We don't want them to get ill and then end up in our hospitals with diseases and mortalities that we could not control if they occur. So it's very important that all of these activities going on are around the Ministry of Health so that we align with our vaccine policies, with our vaccine intentions and our vaccine strategies. We have the expanded program on immunization. We definitely will bring them on board so that they will continue whatever has started in terms of this Ebola vaccine, so that we see how we can have it properly integrated within the health system we have in the country. We will go further to encourage people who are doing research on vaccines in our country to really look at what are the possibilities of ensuring that vaccines are also produced locally. There is a global initiative to ensure that African countries step up in terms of producing vaccines, because when we had the COVID-19 outbreak, we know how much we struggled to get vaccines to these countries. So if we have the capacity to develop our vaccines, I think that's the advocacy going on now in all countries in the world, that African countries should be strengthened to develop their own vaccines. Not only do the research, have the data and send it out, but what capacity can you build locally in African countries to ensure that these vaccines are developed and we have a good stock of vaccines. Whenever there's an outbreak, we don't have to rush to European countries or American states to get us these vaccines. They are easily available, possibly cheap, and easily accessible for our people. I know South Africa is one of the hubs now doing that, producing a lot of vaccines. So how can we move such to the West Coast, West Africa? Senegal is also doing it. How can we move it down to further west, down to Sierra Leone, for example? The initiatives we're looking for, we're really happy at the trajectory, but the direction and perspective of Africans and governments, especially the health sector, is that we try to create those capacities to build the infrastructure and human resource to develop vaccines locally. We are really delighted to be part of this process, and I'm really happy that the DHMT, the local district management team of the Ministry of Health, really participated in all of these. Capacities have been built. We hope that we'll expand this to other districts, this form of capacity that has been built, and ensuring that we have an expanded program on research for vaccines. On behalf of the leadership of the ministry, I will not say much. My minister will speak soon. Well, thank you all, and thank you to the Commerce team and the University of Sierra Leone for giving us the privilege to make a statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaba. Commerce can hardly be there without the Ministry of Health. So they've been partners working together in every aspect. And the only time the ministry is not there is when the students are coming in from school. From the moment they step into commerce, then they become the business of the ministry. And the relationship is there in every aspect. And we are always happy to have the Ministry of Health working with commerce, and especially when we have such opportunities for us to be here together to showcase that what was done, all the achievements were achieved together in partnership with the minister. So before keynote address, we are going to have a statement from the representative of the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the university, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Freetown College, my own direct boss, Professor Kenema.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, permit me to stand on protocols that have already been established. I bring you greetings from the Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of Sierra Leone, and also from staff, students, and faculty of the University of Sierra Leone. We are so thrilled that the University of Sierra Leone is leading this effort. You know, commerce is part of the University of Sierra Leone. I think it's the third constituent college of the University of Sierra Leone. Why I say third, it's the baby amongst us. Freetown College established in 1827, IPA 1980, and Commerce 1988. You know, when I received the invitation to come represent my Vice Chancellor here, I saw the achievements, Commerce, done. Leading the process and the development of these vaccines, I felt, I don't know if it's regret or something. You know why? I regretted, or I'm still regretting, quitting medical school. You know, I was among the second batch of students at Commerce. But, I don't know, I think because of fear of the sight of blood, I decided to quit and went for engineering because I'm not afraid of engine oil. Now I'm an engineer, but you know, I'm still passionate about medicine. That's why the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture at Freetown College, the college I'm heading now as Deputy Vice Chancellor, we are working with Leeds University in the UK on the manufacture of some medical equipment. We'll soon start. So the medicine is still in me. Yeah. And we are really proud. My Vice Chancellor, I wish you was here. We are all proud about these achievements we're celebrating today. These drugs, vaccines we are disseminating. And now my colleague Dr. Kaba just mentioned about malaria vaccine trial in kids. What about us, the adults? I just recovered from malaria. I almost lost my life a few weeks ago. Malaria kills. We started with kids. Let's move on fast, Dr. Samai. Let's come up with our own vaccine, malaria vaccine. You know, it's killing. So the University of Sierra Leone, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, September 7th, you know, it's been good news about the university. We hosted the 2024 African Genius Awards on Freetown College campus this September. First university in Africa, outside South Africa, to host the African Genius Awards. And you know what? 2 Sierra Leoneans were nominated out of 47 Africans. One is a professor at Freetown College. One of the nominees, Dr. Yakama Martin Jones, was nominated among 47 African geniuses. People like Wole Soyinka, Nelson Mandela, Dangote have won it before, that award. Now 2 Sierra Leoneans, including a young boy that developed the robotic peace robots. I think you saw it on the streets of Freetown when he displayed them. Anyway, once again, let me thank you on behalf of my Vice Chancellor, not only for inviting us, but for coming up with this vaccine we've all been waiting for, we've all been longing for. And not only that, we're also impressed that the laboratories in Cambia and at Commercia have gained international accreditation. So, and the licensing of the vaccines, I'm sure, I don't know, but have you properly tried them? Finally, if you're looking for guinea pigs, count me in. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Kele Mansari. At the university, we have always wondered whether we are doing enough to publicize the achievements. I'm not quite sure we are. Because it doesn't sound big that these studies were done here in Sierra Leone, and that at the end of the day, they've gone through all those rigorous standards at the highest level and then get license. I don't think we are doing enough to publicize this. I think we should not stop here today. We should continue this. We should let Sierra Leoneans know that we are there, right up there at the highest possible level when it comes to vaccine trial research and other medical research. Thank you very much, Professor Kele Mansari. We now move on to this first part of the ceremony, where we are going to hear from no less a person than the Honorable Deputy Minister of Health, Professor Dr. Charles Senesi.
Thanks again very much, Mr. Chairman. And esteemed National Minister of Health, members of the high table, permit me to stand on existing protocols because time is of essence. And this is indeed a privilege for me to be here this morning to share some few words on this exciting development on the University of Sierra Leone. Again, it is with mixed feelings. When the Ebola pandemic struck, some of us were out of this country. And indeed, colleagues have said, we lost hundreds and thousands of healthcare workers. And today is the first time I'm standing on the podium here to address an exciting development. But I think, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, on behalf of all those our colleagues we lost during the pandemic, both in Sierra Leone and around the globe, I'd like us all to stand and observe the minute of silence, please. Thank you very much. Indeed, the Ebola at the global level, where some was at the regional level, there was a lot of activities. Some of us took time off to locate ourselves at Kenema to help the pandemic. And in Sierra Leone, it was disheartening as one health worker after another went down. And I'm sure this is what pushed colleagues like Thomas to action. Something has to push you to action. To say, no, we have had enough. We need to do something. And I'm really happy that we took that decision and decided to take our destiny into our hands. And so on behalf of the leadership of this country, His Excellency the President, from whom I bring greetings, on behalf of the leadership of the Ministry of Health, I want to really extend our thanks and appreciation to Comas for taking this bold and decisive move. Ebola was not an easy thing, even for some of us in Switzerland. And I was working for 15 years in the clinical trials unit of Swiss Medic in Switzerland, like the MHRA in the UK or the US FDA. And I can tell you that Ebola stretched us to our limits. Even in the development of the therapeutics, including the vaccines. And clinical trials in low and middle income countries is not an easy task. 15 years in Switzerland at that high level of clinical trials regulation, I can hardly remember a single center in Africa for clinical trials. Maybe South Africa had 1 or 2 centers, but Sierra Leone was not counted, neither most countries in sub-Saharan Africa. So for Sierra Leone to take this leadership in this vaccine development, right to the marketing stage, I'm sure it went through the phase 0, the phase 0, phase 1 of preclinicals, phase 2, 3, 4, and now post-marketing. Congratulations to Sierra Leone. And it is done by no less an institution than the University of Sierra Leone. We were once the Athens of West Africa. I think we are continuing to gallop towards that legacy that we are so well built upon. So as a Minister of Health, going to be the consumers of what you've worked so hard for, we want to join everyone in congratulating you again. And I'm also thrilled that the vaccines were developed not only for adults, but in children. Children are not small adults. It's extremely difficult in clinical trials to develop therapies and vaccines for children for a variety of reasons. And I was responsible for pediatric clinical trials for Switzerland and even at the WHO and around the globe. It's extremely difficult. When they are born, they are 70% water. Their enzymes are not fully developed. It's a challenge to develop clinical trials in adults, and you cannot extrapolate safety to children. You can only extrapolate efficacy, but not safety. So it's really a challenge, and monitoring the adverse event in children is really challenging because you can only elicit signs or not the symptoms. The children will not say my head is aching, my tummy is aching. It's extremely challenging. So for Comas to have gone through that rigors, I must say congratulations to them again. It is not easy. And I'm sure we are going to build upon that. 99% of the medication we use in low and middle income countries have never been researched at the clinical trials level among us. We're extrapolating the Caucasian data to us, not even the paracetamol or the Clamoxil we are using. So this is a starting phase for some of us who have been pushing it to say we need to reinvent the wheel if we can and do clinical trials among our population. The population dynamic is among Caucasians and us, the colleagues here, skins of color, I say it, it's never the same. When I did my PhD on the P450 enzymes and the genetic mutation, we are way different than the Caucasians in terms of metabolism. It's high time we build upon the success of Comas to make sure that at least we can do the needful. The best social legacy we leave is what we have to do at the moment. And I'm happy Dr. Mustafa Kaba, our Deputy Chief Medical Officer Clinicals, highlighted the need to start manufacturing our own medications, including vaccines in this part of the country. Building upon the success of the vaccine for Ebola, we had COVID, and then we have some other diseases that keep affecting us. Yesterday, we launched the vaccination of children for the 3rd round for polio. There was a polio outbreak, the community-acquired type in Sierra Leone. And I was new in the office. I thought I was where I was before. We went through all the necessary pillars, then came the issue, where are the vaccine? Where is the stockpiles of vaccine? There was none. I mean, I was so mad that those who are responsible came to me with Dr. David to come and apologize But it's a little too late. There was no vaccines for polio last December, January, March, not around the globe. The stockpiles were depleted. I was hitting the quarters in WHO left and right. They were embarrassed. There was OOS out of specification. The ones they discovered. So we had to sit like waiting dogs, waiting our children to get infected with polio and get uncomfortable and lethal paralysis. Thank God it never happened. Today we have stockpiles of them. They manufacture them in time to distribute it. And I think it's high time, as Dr. Kaba said, we start thinking of manufacturing. And the landscape is good. We have laid a firm foundation. Some of us are really, lots of companies want to manufacture now in Sierra Leone. We are a small country. We don't have a big market. We can be like the hub for the entire sub-region. We have done this in the educational sector. We can do this in the manufacturing sector. And I'm happy to say that most of us are very much, I'm building that groundwork. We have the European Medicine Agency. We now have the African Medicine Agency. We have the US CDC, right now, the African CDC. Those two institutions, the African CDC and the African Medicine Agency, we are not leaving any stone unturned to make sure that we have manufacturing sites in and on the African soil, including Sierra Leone. And I thank our ministry for taking that leadership. And I'm very happy also that Professor Samuel really reiterated that point, that community engagement, having the community to buy in what you are doing, is one of the greatest things that will augur well for sustainability. And I'm really happy that we are going to build upon that. They have started laying the groundwork for a lot of infrastructure, accrediting our lab for future pandemics. At the moment, we are grappling with mpox, and we need to have a lab fit for purpose. Thanks to Dr. Samuel, Professor Samuel, we have started accrediting our labs in this country. It's one of the weakest public health laboratory links that we have. But we as a government, we as a Ministry of Health, we are really working very hard to make sure that we build upon the successes of Professor Samuel and others and the entire team. And I also challenge our development partners to continue supporting us. The world is like a global village. What happens in Sierra Leone has got a ripple effect around the continent. As we fight to grapple with more pandemic diseases, pandemics will be 3 hours, few days away. So we need really to lay our bed very firmly so that we can lie comfortably on it. And on that note, I'm very happy that I could share with you these short words. Normally, politicians will talk long, but time is not of essence this morning. So congratulations again to Professor Samai and all our colleagues here in this room, colleagues that have also taught us to be where we are. I can see Professor Faludin and all others who have really relentlessly up to this moment, working very hard to instill education in the younger colleagues, that's like he did to us 20-25 years ago. And then all those in this room who are continuing, as you said, our matron Fuller, the CNMO, very much passionate about continuous professional development, continuous medical education, everybody else. I thank you very much, and on behalf of His Excellency again, may I extend congratulations to the Comas and everybody else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor, Doctor, Politician. Now, thank you for those kind words, acknowledging what Commerce, USL has done. Thank you so much, sir. And we are going to break for tea. Maybe after 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we'll come back. Thank you very much. So we go down to the 3rd floor. We find 2 rooms there, one for the students and the other room for other guests. Just below this floor, the 3rd floor.
I don't go now. are going.
The OKNP landscape is more rich in biodiversity. If you come in the OKNP, you will see different type of animals, chimpanzee, hippo, elephant, Maxwell duiker, red flank duiker, etc., etc., and even the colobus monkey, patas monkey, they are in the park.
We're here this morning with the Wabile Eco Guards, with Dr. Moses, Amara, Emmanuel, and Dr. Rosa, doing the camera trap practicals and also how to do reference video making. We're getting ready for tomorrow, as we're going to go to the field for 10 days to set up camera trap in 3 different locations with 3 teams. We survey the transect and take data, and also do camera traps. For some transect we have 2 cameras, for some transect we have 1, and some transect we just have to resurvey.
Being one of the Wabile staff, we don't learn a lot today, from yesterday to today, concerning this camera trapping. We will go for 10 days.
I'm Eco Guard for Wabile. I have learned a lot. We are here for training how to set up camera trap, also with a transient land. I'm very happy for being Eco Guard for Wabile because I have a lot of experience now how to protect this land, and I know what to do and what not to do in the forest.
Due to the intervention of many projects like ECOD, Wabile, OKKPS, then we have started seeing some changes. So I think the community members also really appreciate the work of those projects that are bringing development in their chiefdoms in the name of protecting this particular conservation area. With also the community members are now ready full force to support those projects to see how best they can achieve their goal. And they are always thanking the donors that are giving their money to those projects to sponsor community members. Wabile also is now working along the Kilimi axis to Kuru. They also are now trying to see how best we can able to know the different type of animals that are in there. For the community members, they never know if we have chimpanzee or another elephant. Due to the efforts of the Wabile and the OKKPS and ECOD, now community members have started knowing that yes, we have elephant, we have chimpanzee, we have leopard. Then this is the good things for the chiefdom because this can encourage the tourism to be in the park and to do more investment. This also encourages the community members also to contribute to support the project because they are seeing their children working with the project. And conservation is good because it creates more jobs for the youth, it creates more employment, more investment. So it will be good if this will continue for the next 10 to 15 years. that can help the conservation area to be protected and the community members also to be feel part of the decision making.
You ready for the Zoom meeting today with the investor then?
Yes, boss. I'm ready for the meeting today. And I don't download all the reports they sent to me on the internet.
Make sure so you get super connection, because I don't want one problem during the meeting.
Everything is okay. Everything is fine.
Counting on you, even though we're not in the same office. I will be with you every step of the way.
Children all over the world are children. They have their rights and their right to education.
Everybody likes Papa. As adults, we have one job, which is to build a better future for the children in Sierra Leone. The method of the Play Lab model, they help the pikin they learn faster through the cognitive development of a child.
So today we are going to learn about rhyme,
That they gain knowledge and they develop their learning skills. Before they can. Then before they can implement this Play Lab, we involve the community. We ask them for advice. Say how we will build this Play Lab, where it will find the way how the community, the environment there, then so they can check how the Play Lab there.
What they did at this Play Lab, they don't record, they don't come back to school because of this Play Lab. So the Play Lab is very much important. The community now contributes to this Play Lab. We get artists there, we get people there where their own material has there, where they come with sticks, bottles. Then we community artists there. Then they come with some ideas there where we be able maintenance this Play Lab and even decorator and painter.
We are interested in the Play Lab model because BRAC has worked in Bangladesh over the years in education. We have witnessed it because we visited Bangladesh and we see how the children have developed in the foundational level. So it is necessary for us to have contacts with BRAC so that we can improve our educational system.
As a Play Lab leaders, we receive a lot of skills development and training. For example, we are taught to implement local songs, rhymes and stories in the curriculum where they make the pikin to be active in their thinking or in their learning. It resonates with the children's perception. It teach them something where they understand.
As long as we begin and they learn that they grew up within this world, we're ready for contribute to the maintenance and decorating of the Play Lab.
The future for tomorrow, how the future will become, it will be strong for the picking and Sierra Leone do so.
I hear the sound of abundance of miracles. I hear the sound of abundance of healing.
Get ready, Freetown, Sierra Leone. The Christ Invasion Crusade 2024 is coming your way. Freetown, get excited because for the first time ever, we welcome Apostle Dr. Seth Amoa Boateng from the USA for Christ Invasion Crusade 2024.
I hear the sound of abundance of testimonies.
SAB Ministries, in alliance with a special group of local ministers and churches in Freetown, Sierra Leone, invite you to Christ Invasion Crusade 2024. This is a monumental event you don't want to miss. It is starting from September 25th to 27th. Come and experience the power of God like never before under the theme, Jesus the Burden Lifter. Mornings will feature empowerment sessions from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And in the evenings, join us at 6 p.m. for the Christ Invasion Miracle Encounter, where miracles, signs, and wonders await. Invite your friends and family and join us at Zion Praise Tabernacle for a time of miracles, breakthroughs, and transformation. Ministering in worship are anointed worshipers such as Melinda Tucker, Isaiah Calker, Delight Kana, and many more. Save the dates, September 25th to 27th, 2024, and join us for a divine encounter you cannot afford to miss. Call 232-77-842-850 or 232-88-998326 for more details. The Christ Invasion Crusade 2024. Jesus is lifting every burden.
Salute people that una come north, south, east, and west. This is the message from Dofa. That the Dawantoni organization. They say for tell unu say Miss All is Gold Beauty Pageant Volume 4. That's at the Mami Dem Beauty Contest. Go be October 12 this year. Na Freetown City Council all 4 o'clock Santem. This beauty contest go get sober and funny side attraction them. Can't see where them Mami they ready for show now waiting then get. Until you know say we cow all in Lebanon all. Tickets price na 100 millions ordinary. Patron na 250 millions. Donate beginner na 50 millions. No more VIP na by donation. The MC for this beauty contest na John Conte of Afri Money fame. So come, me people them north, south, east, and west. Come back to you mama, you auntie, you granny, except you grand auntie with you great granny. As them don't set for give una their own catwalk. Don't want any organization say all age not to sickness. Rush now and get you tickets. Dofa, Miss Old is Gold Beauty Pageant Volume 4. The stage where the aged makes the difference.
Life no go ever sweet without
that thing what we call love. Now that make
Love Factor na a very good program where any big person can look and enjoy.
Now the kind program we for spend time for watch. Now the kind program we for spend time for sit down for look.
And this program it me I don't learn from and I wonder you say for life.
The Love Factor show na about family, love, counseling,
relationship. We say we dey build and maintain relationship. This na program we say we dey counsel you for let you know how for dey with your partner, let you know how for settle disputes between you and your heart to heart.
Well, you do hear it for yourself.
Join the Love Factor team
every Sunday 10 p.m.
for help make we all enjoy love and peace.
Are you tired of watching or listening to uninteresting television channels? Then your worries have been addressed, as the SLBC Podium is the answer to your concern.
The SLBC television show, The Podium, is one of the programs you can't afford to miss as a guest or a viewer.
Oh yes, Podium is a show where the mighty and the low will like to sit because
It is a trusted medium to channel your views, concerns, and aspirations for Sierra Leone and other happenings around the globe.
Podium is where you get breaking news because everyone wants to talk to us. If you hear it on Podium, ask no further.
Don't forget to join us every midday from Monday to Friday as we ask the hard questions that you otherwise would have asked to the newsmakers, the movers and shakers of events.
Don't miss the opportunity to be part of Sierra Leone's topmost midday show, The Podium, where the agenda is set for others to follow. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Goodbye.
Me, for can go na junction for go buy EDSA credit. It want more than
say you want for Gona State. Because the last EDSA credit when me buy na ya asidom where I buy am.
This one hard for believe.
Not true. Dial *363# with QCell and tell me what he say.
It say buy Q Power, get last 3 tokens, register meter and exit.
You see?
But I no get QCell more.
Now it make it sweet and easy. Just top up your QCell and buy EDSA credit. No mobile money, no problem. It will be one day na salon.
Okay.
Pass with QCell.
Make a try, man.
Hey!
Nice car! Yes, use your QCell top up and buy EDSA Lite anytime, any size. Just dial *363# and follow the instructions. Make sure say you register your meter number before you continue.
For more information, dial 111. Terms and conditions apply. QCell Salon Pride.
Are you tired of watching or listening to uninteresting television channels? Then your worries have been addressed, as the SLBC Podium is the answer to your concern.
The SLBC television show, The Podium, is one of the programs you can't afford to miss as a guest or a viewer.
Oh yes, Podium is a show where the mighty and the low will like to sit because it is a trusted medium to channel your views, concerns, and aspirations for Sierra Leone and other happenings around the globe.
Podium is where you get breaking news because everyone wants to talk to us. If you hear it on Podium, ask no further.
Don't forget to join us every midday from Monday to Friday as we ask the hard questions that you otherwise would have asked to the newsmakers, the movers and shakers of events.
Don't miss the opportunity to be part of Sierra Leone's topmost midday show, The Podium, where the agenda is set for others to follow. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Goodbye.
am Aminata Fofana, a reporter, a presenter, and an anchor for the SLBC.
I am Dennis Fraser, reporter and presenter here at the Public Broadcaster, and this is the SLBC.
Hi, I am Cynthia Kamara, a news anchor, a reporter, radio presenter, and announcer. I find pleasure in keeping you updated, and it's a pleasure.
Hello everyone, I am Stella Frederica Bangura, a reporter and presenter at the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Stay tuned all day, every day. Cheers.
Hi everyone, I am Cecilia Alice Sise, a news anchor, radio and television reporter and presenter, and an announcer. I take interest in stories of human interest, particularly women and girls and minority rights issues. So, keep watching the SLBC, the authentic voice of Sierra Leone.
My name is Daphne Kimamakoli, and I'm a reporter, presenter, producer, and I am a voice at the state broadcaster, the SLBC.